Hey everyone, it's Road to Retire, and in this video I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I want to talk about the realities of working on sites like Mechanical Turk, REMOTASK, DataAnnotation.tech, Prolific. There's probably so many more sites that I've done over my lifetime that I'm leaving out right now. But take it from someone who's earned over $10,000 lifetime just between Mechanical Turk and REMOTASK. Let's talk about the reality of the situation because I've been working on these for so long, and let's just get into it. Okay, so just immediately want to prove that I have made over $10,000 just between Mechanical Turk and REMOTASK. You can see in the bottom right here, total earnings to date, $8,180. And then on REMOTASK, all-time earnings, $2,297. So a little over $10,000. It's like $10,400 or something like that, just between these two sites. REMOTASK, I've earned $2,000, over $2,000 in just over 6 weeks. So I've had so many videos on REMOTASK already. So feel free to go through my channel and you'll see probably 6 videos on REMOTASK. And then Mechanical Turk, to get this $8,180. It took me 8 years, but I'm not saying like I took Mechanical Turk seriously for 8 years. As a matter of fact, let's move the screen here. So if we're looking right here at the year, 2021, 2022, 2023, you can see in 2022 alone, I made $3,100 of that $8,100. So getting close to like 40% of all my lifetime earnings were in 1 year. But I've been working on Mechanical Turk since like 2017. So I haven't been taking it, fully balls to the wall, if you want to call it, on Mechanical Turk. So yeah, just want to get that out right there, get that out right away. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So let's first talk about something like REMOTASK, where I absolutely made a killing in my 6 weeks, especially for something that is considered definitely as a side hustle, definitely not like a full-time job or even a part-time job. Around $2,300 in 6 weeks is phenomenal. I mean, let's just do the math real quick. I mean, if we do 2,300 divided by 6, I'm averaging almost $400 a week. That's awesome for a side hustle. It really is. I mean, if you were able to get that on every side hustle, we wouldn't have to have full-time jobs, right? But of course, it didn't work out, and I did a video yesterday if you want to find out why, REMOTASK just sucks right now. But nonetheless, I earned $2,300 on Mechanical Turk. I earned over $8,000. So, am I happy with earning $10,000 on these sites? Of course, I'm happy to have the money. I mean, of course, anytime you receive money from doing anything, and even if it's not the hourly wage or whatever the turnout that you want it to be, you're always going to be happy to have the money. But I think the reality of the situation is my time that I spent on these sites would have been better focused elsewhere. Maybe not REMOTASK. REMOTASK ended up paying, I tried to calculate this last night. Like, how much did I actually make like per hour on REMOTASK? And it probably came close after factoring in incentives and $100 worth of referrals, maybe like $26 an hour. So a pretty good rate. And what I'm getting on DataAnnotation.tech right now was around $22.50 an hour. So all in all, that's a good rate. Mechanical Turks was way below that. We're talking probably $10 an hour sometimes, if I'm lucky. Now, there's so many people who are hardcore on Mechanical Turk that would be like, oh my God, what the hell are you doing that you're only making $10 an hour? Look, like I said before, I didn't take it hardcore. Maybe in 2022 I did to get over $3,000, but nonetheless, it's like it's not my full-time job. There's a lot of people here who were on Mechanical Turk since like when it first started, giving out tasks to people who they made that their job. And it's like I saw people who were making over $1,500 a month on Mechanical Turk, which to me is just insane. The amount of tasks and hits and hit scrapers and scripts that you would have to do for that is just mind-boggling to me. And it's like, you got to have no life to make that much on Mechanical Turk, because it's just the reality of the situation is to get over $10,000 between these two sites. I tried to calculate this too. probably around 720 hours of my life is gone. Now, it doesn't sound that bad when you sparse it in terms of days. So if you do 720 divided by 24, it's only 30 days. So it's like, oh, you only wasted a month of your life. But if I would have taken that month of my life and just factored it into, I don't know, something more scalable, like a YouTube channel, if I focus strictly on YouTube, making the best content I could, or if I put that kind of effort into maybe even just getting a better second job. The point is, you have to exchange a heck of a lot of time to get this money for stuff like this. Now, look, if this is truly just like beer money for you, meaning like you're hoping just to make like $20 to $50 a week so you can go out to a nice dinner at the end of the week or something like that, then by all means, these sites are fine. Like, you're gonna have no issues making some kind of money somewhere on one of these sites. You know, Prolific, I made $1,000 in about 2.5 to 3 months worth of surveys before I got stupidly kicked out for no reason, which I don't know what Prolific's problem is, kicking people out where I don't use a VPN. I never had a rejection of any surveys I did, and it's just like, oh, we can't have you on the site, and then they can't give you a reason. It's so annoying, but many people have shared my same experience, so it's not just like a personal thing, it's a site thing. Nonetheless, you have to exchange time for money, right? And that's always the issue. And what I'm saying right now isn't anything new or mind-blowing. It's the whole concept of like the passive income and active income, and like there's really no such thing as passive income, because you have to do some amount of work up front in order to get passive income, right? It's not like you can just like snap your finger and then like boom, passive income. And it's like, even if you could, you technically still have to do the work of snapping the finger. I digress. You know, one of the things that I would consider like best passive income is something like dividends, right? Where it's just like you buy the stock and you get paid out either monthly or quarterly, whatever stock you have. But in reality, you have to have a lot of capital in order to make that dividend work. And where are you getting that capital from? Well, you got to work, or you got to make some buku bucks doing side hustling in order to make it worth it, right? I mean, that's what I'm attempting to do. And I'm starting to come to the realization that, you know, am I really going to make it by focusing on sites like Dashboard? I'm looking at the tab, but stuff like Mechanical Turk, REMOTASKS, data annotation. Am I really going to make it? I don't know. I could do well. I mean, if sites come along like REMOTASKS where I'm making $2,300 in 6 weeks, sure, that's great, but how sustainable is it? And clearly for a site like REMOTASKS, it's not sustainable at all. And right now, data annotation tech is great for me. I'm making like $20 a day on the side, and I think it could last, you know, a couple months, maybe until like summer's over. But after that, I don't think anything's going to come of it. Mechanical Turk right now, I have it running in the background, scripts in the background at work. I'm making like $5 a day. So whoopity-doo. I got to do stuff that kind of scales better. I got to focus on stuff like YouTube more. And this is a wake-up call to you out there, because it's like, if you ever want to retire early, like I hope I'm doing, it's like, you can do stuff like this, like a REMOTASKS, Prolific, and all these survey sites. You can do it. Don't get me wrong. And I've pretty much grinded my way through and shown. But keep in mind, it is a huge grind. You have to bust your ass. There's times on Friday nights I was working on REMOTASKS, Saturday nights. You know, I have a lovely wife. We just hit our 4-year anniversary today. And it's like, do you really think I'd rather be working on stupid sites like this rather than like going and enjoying a Friday or Saturday night with my wife? Of course not. But it's just like, I have this thing in my head where it's like, I gotta work, I gotta earn, I gotta grind. And it's just, there's gotta be a better way, right? So this is just a heads up to you as someone who's earned $10,000 between these sites. And, you know, if we include all sites, so we're talking Mechanical Turk, REMOTASKS, Prolific, data annotation.tech. I feel like there's a couple other big ones I'm missing. I've probably earned around $15,000. So I earned a good chunk of change from doing this type of work. And I'm just telling you right now, It is exhausting. I've been doing this for years. It is a grind. Your head just goes numb after a while. And even a site like REMOTASKS, which was paying very well, like over $25 an hour after I did the math, it's just like, yeah, it pays well, but the work sucks. And that's why I'm trying things like Amazon influencer program. I just started trying to get into that. And even if the payouts are low, it's more fun to do. I mean, I like doing reviews. It's like, I have this microphone. It's like, cool, I can do a nice, cool review of it, talk about how much I like of it. Only takes a minute, very brief editing, just do a voiceover. And if that's a way to get me money, and it's not going to rot my brain, well then hell, I'd rather make $10 a day doing Amazon influence stuff than $20 a day in data annotation tech or REMOTASKS and Mechanical Turk, where I'm going to lose my mind. And it kind of, stuff like the Amazon influencer program, stuff like making a YouTube channel, doing books, stuff where it's like you have to do the heavy lifting up front and then it kind of flows afterwards, I think is a more fruitful venture. And if I could do it all over, I would focus way more on a YouTube channel, especially back then when the ads were amazing. I would focus on just maybe starting to do more commission related stuff or books, write a lot more books, even stuff. There's books out there that you can do that's like, I think they call it like no content books, where it's like, oh, you make like a coloring book for kids on Amazon, and then like it takes like an hour of work and you can make royalties for the rest of your life off something like that. I have experience with it. I did a book on how to handicap horse races, just like a little 20-page book that I did during my old job when I knew I was going to quit. And to this day, I released that book like 6 years ago. To this day, I get royalties from it. It's like $1 a month, but it's pretty cool. And I'm saying, I think I would rather front load my work and then reap the benefits of that later. I don't want to work on sites like Mechanical Turk and REMOTASKS when I'm 40 years old. I just don't. I want to retire early and I want to do it off of dividends. So, if I have to suffer through and do data annotation tech or stuff like that, Mechanical Turk, until my dividend portfolio is big enough, fine. But I'm just warning all of you out there, it is definitely not the ideal path. It is such a grind. And, maybe adhere my advice, what I'm trying to tell my younger self right now when I'm telling you, all my listeners out there, is that just be weary of how much work you really have to put in. We all have jobs. I can't do this work like Mechanical Turk that I do because I work from home. I'm blessed. I can't do REMOTASKS when I was working from home. I can't do data annotation tech working from home. It just takes too much time, and I need to focus on my day job. It's not like I can just like, oh no, okay, let's just work on this. I wish, right? I wish, but that's not the reality of the situation. So you need to really value your time and make every penny worth every second. That's all I gotta say today. It's just a harsh reality of working on these type of grind sites. You can make a lot of money. I have made a lot of money, but if I could do it all over, I absolutely wouldn't in this kind of side hustle capacity. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, if you've never heard of me before, name's Road to Retire. I want to retire early. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm show off all the side hustles and stuff that I do. So if you're interested in that, you can subscribe, like the video if my message has drilled through your head today, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Thank you.